So now we're going to do a little bit more advanced stuff. Nothing crazy. But let's say we're looking at this and we're like, I want all of the green things to go away. So first we have to tell invex how can we decide what's green. So we have to say if, and then we'll do at cd equals 0, 1, 0. Actually, when you do equals in an if statement, you need to use double equals. Remove point 0 pt num. And now all of the things that are green are gone. And I can change that too, so instead I get rid of all the red. And so that's super helpful whenever you decide that you want to get rid of a certain chunk of something, but in a directed way. So in another situation, let's say you want to get rid of a certain percent of something. So I'm going to have to make a new object here. Let's hide this one. So now let's say we have a sphere. I'm going to transform it up a bit. I'm going to convert this to polygon, change frequency. Let's make a quick mountain node, deform it up a bit. Now we're going to do a points from volume, which just fills a volume with points as it is named. So you can see here, we've got a decent amount of points. They're all in a grid, so if you want it to not be in a perfect grid, you just change the jitter scale. And so I don't have to look at the shape that it comes from. I'll just drop a null beneath it. And we want more points, so let's make it 0.5. You know what, let's make it 0.25. So that's a lot of points. Let's say that we've been given this amount of points and we don't want it to be this thick. There's a few ways you could go about it. One is, well, I mean, if you want to delete things, you could just select it, delete it, and hope for the best, but you can't really direct that very well. So the best way is to create a point wrangle. And so again, before we start doing things, let's do id equals pt num. Because we are going to be deleting things. We want to keep things consistent in case we go back up and decide to change how we're deleting things. It won't change the ID later down the road. So let's do another point wrangle. And now we're going to make a local variable. So I'm going to create one called rando, and rando is a float. So I'm going to say float. And it's pink, so you know that's going to be a local variable, and I'm going to say rando, and that equals rand id. So now every point that we see over here has a random attribute between 0 and 1. We just can't see it. And now we're going to do if rando, and you can see that I'm not using an at symbol. You don't need to when it's a local variable. You just have to type what you named it. So if rando is greater than, and then I don't want to have to constantly change this and type into it, so I'm going to make a new float channel and do cull. So this will be the number that I use for culling out all those points. So then I gotta enclose that in parentheses, make a curly bracket, and then go down and do remove point 0 pt num. forgot a semicolon. Okay, so right now, if it's going to delete everything because again this creates a default of 0. So if the attribute rando is above 0, which every point is going to be, it deletes it. So let's create this, and now I'm going to start dragging this, and you'll see points start to show up. So now it's only points greater than 0.077 will be deleted. And now I have perfect control over how much is in this point cloud. And so this is really useful for just deleting things. Let's say you have too many particles in a simulation, or you just have too many of something. It's really good to cull points by just assigning a random value between 0 and 1, and then deleting it if it's greater or less than.